Do you struggle with conflict? Do you struggle with arguing? Do you struggle with how to argue? Watch this video. Let's chat about 3 things that will help you argue and handle conflict better. Let's go. So the art of arguing is like really a skill. You have to be able to argue and handle conflict. If you are a healthcare administrator, if you're a leader, whatever realm you're in, you have to be able to understand someone else's point of view, and you also have to be able to take that point of view and listen objectively and not take those things personal, but also get your point across, right? And make sure that they understand what you're saying. So I just want to talk about really quickly 3 things that will help you argue better and also handle conflict better. So number 1 way that you can become a better conflict manager or a person who handles conflict better is listen. Take a moment, and when there's an issue or when there's something that's going on, literally think of yourself as a blank canvas. Get your mind to think really blank about what is going on and not take a bias towards whatever is going on, whether it's a previous situation, a previous circumstance. Try to look at every problem, every conflict from a blank slate and take all of those things. Listen, make sure you're not over talking or talking over or trying to think in your mind, how are you going to react or how are you going to respond? Just listen. When you listen actively, you can take all that information and comprehend it better. But when you're also trying to think for yourself of what you're going to say, how you're going to respond, you miss things. You miss exactly what that person's saying. You may try to think about something and totally miss exactly what they're trying to get the point across is. And so listening is key. Second way that you can handle conflict and be better at arguing is not to take things personally. Most arguments and most quarrels, most conflicts arise and they escalate when anyone is taking a certain stance and you're taking those things personally. So when you're, taking an offense about what someone may say, maybe it's productivity, maybe it's an issue with a certain area. If you take that personally, then you yourself, you're not going to succeed. I remember this, there's this example that a friend of mine, a mentor, told me. He said, when you see a grocery store, or you see Target, right? Target as a brand, right, is a nationwide chain. If you go to one Target and you look at one store and you go to a specific aisle and it's an aisle that's just in disarray, right? Maybe it's messy or maybe there's clothes everywhere in the clothing aisle. You are not going to think to yourself that Target is a terrible store, right? You're not going to think that, man, Target as a whole is just terrible, right? It's just one aspect of one area, of one store, of one aisle that is messed up, right? And that can be fixed. And so that's the same thing with anything that you find that's a conflict or something that's not going well. You don't want to take the whole big picture and say, oh my gosh, man, I'm a bad leader, man, I'm just doing terrible, I'm not good. Or I'm a bad husband, or I'm a bad wife, or whatever it may be. You don't want to take the whole thing and throw it away. You want to take that aspect and figure out one area that you can tweak, fix, and get better. So don't take things personally because it doesn't help anything. And also, a lot of times we miss the whole point of the issue. It's just one little piece that needs to get better. It needs to get tweaked. The third thing that will help you become a better argumenter or conflict manager is being clear with what you're trying to say or portray. If you can take time and slow down and try to process exactly why it is that you're either frustrated or what the issue is, and you can portray that and be very clear, it'll allow for that person to really see exactly what's going on. So let's go back to that example of being in the store in Target. If you're saying, okay, this store is terrible, right? Okay, there's something else that's going on with that. Okay, not the store. No, hey, Target, I love Target. Love Target. But let's say not the store. Okay, let's say the clothing section. Okay, let's break that down even more. Okay, the men's section. Okay, well, let's break that down more. Okay, the activewear section. Okay, the activewear section. Okay, the shirt activewear section. Okay, cool. Now we can hone in and see exactly what it is that we're trying to look at and fix. Now let's say, okay, the shirt section is not folded appropriately, right? So now you're looking at the shirt section, and now you know the exact problem, and now you can address it and figure out, okay, let's figure out who was the person that was in charge of this area. Okay, let's figure out whether they miss it, were they out, and what happened. Then you're clear, right? But if you're fuzzy on what it is that you're frustrated about, then you're not going to be able to solve that argument or that conflict. So be clear. Make sure you're extremely clear. So the 3 things again are: make sure you're listening, make sure you don't get easily offended, and make sure you're clear. Make sure you're clear on those things. And if you can do those things, we're not, nobody's perfect, but you can get better and better every day at those things. So I hope that helps. Leaders, healthcare managers, make sure you take a moment. If you haven't subscribed and you're interested in this this YouTube channel, Chats with Charles, I'd love for you guys to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time. Be easy.